So I'm in Lisbon, and today we have kind of bad news. Um, how can I say this? There was a gathering that was supposed to happen, and I got an invitation today. It was supposed to be between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Uh, and the idea and the goal of this was to get people attention here, especially in Lisbon, to the fact that Aleppo is suffering for already a very long time. And today is it's a beautiful night here in Lisbon, but there's nothing happening in terms of that. So those are bad news for the international community, I guess. And what I think it's needed for the people to understand is that we as individuals need to face some difficulties in our society, and we need to try to cooperate as much as we can. And what happens in Portugal, what happens in England, what happens in Nebraska, whatever, has a huge influence in around the world, and especially the Western society needs to be aware of that. It was not only me, but many other folks came, and there's this desire, but I guess there's just not enough will to really bother. Eventually, that's the problem. Obviously, this looks like a bad picture. It's not. There was a lot of people coming. There was a lot of people participating and discussing this. But we need more. We need more people to just jump out of their daily routines, jump out of their sofa, and come to the street. And so it would be awesome to see this this gathering happen. But today was kind of a defeat. I just hope that tomorrow or any other given day we can just hope for more. Just by opening the CNN app, I can see an article from Einen Eistad, and the story I highlight is basically that Russia was complicit in the atrocities of Syrian government long before its bombing campaign in Syria. Well, that's not news for anyone. Anyone who has been following this situation, especially since 2012, knows that Russia has been helping this situation to continue. Well, what she decided to write in this article for CNN is basically quoting Kofi Annan, the ex-UN secretary. 17 years ago, Kofi Annan apologized because the UN has failed in the genocide that happened in Rwanda. And that was a 100-day genocide. The Syrian war officially, let's say, started like 4 years ago already. And she took the example of this situation where the UN secretary at the time apologized to the world. He blamed himself, the UN, and the society, the civilized society especially, for the situation that happened, the genocide that happened in Rwanda. This was 17 years ago. Not a very long time ago, but way before mass proliferation of internet. Today, a possible genocide that happens today, we might have live video from that. because that's the world we're living in. We get things immediately. We have live feeds of many different disasters. We have plenty of coverage and live feeds from what happened and happens now in Syria. And still, weeks go by, months go by, and we are already years in the same situation. And there was a lot of discussion. There was a lot of things happening in the backstage that we don't even know of. It's true, but still, what we did actually so far. There was no meaningful participation of the global or civilized countries in this thing. 17 years ago. Today we have live news from Aleppo, live news from any other city suffering from war. We have better tools than 17 years ago, and still, what does that change? What are we doing differently? We have better tools. We have less reasons to say we couldn't do anything. I can honestly, and probably you're thinking, but what can I do? Well, something that it's symbolic. It doesn't help directly the people in Aleppo or any other city or any other place suffering from war. But what we can do is a little bit more symbolic, but it actually can have an impact. And gatherings like the one that was supposed to happen here today in Lisbon, those are the symbolic things that we can do. We powerless individuals, normal people. And if we can't just do a simple gathering in our own city, then yeah, you don't have any reason to say, well, I'm just a normal, regular guy and I don't have the power to do anything. Yeah, but you can do a gathering and you can show some love. You can show some respect and you can show some support for the situation, even though you're not there and even though you cannot directly help. But by doing this, you help to have a movement. You help to build a movement. And the movement is needed in order to make people who have power to feel the pressure and to actually do something for us. So participation is needed, and even though we don't have the powers to stop a war, we can put a lot of pressure in the rest of the world, in the people who actually are making the decisions for us. Our leaders. You know, if you don't believe the system, if you believe in conspiracy, because it exists for sure, yes. But let's actually do something and try to do with the tools we have. And they might not be the best tools, but they are the ones we have. And if we don't do anything with the tools we have, then how can we complain? So if tomorrow they try to book the public square for another gathering, I'll be here. You feel helpless anyway. So at least doing symbolic stuff, at least you can do that. You feel already powerless. I understand your pain. I feel the same thing. But we can do this. Hey, it's not much, but if we all do this, all of us, then it's for sure something. But we all have to do it. This empty square in a beautiful Christmas night cannot happen when it was supposed to be full, because it was supposed to be an event in support of people from Aleppo. So an empty square in December, in a beautiful night like this one, because Portuguese people are actually able to come out because the weather is not that bad. I'm not even wearing gloves. And it's Christmas. At least people should be more sensitive during this month. So let's actually do something.